Hello friends. Today I want to discuss about the today is Ganesh Chaturthi. So I want to discuss about the gods. What is the difference between atheist and theist? Why it is important? Why it is not important? Because sometimes I also have doubts that I have been a student of science side and still I'm studying mathematics and computing. So sometimes I also have doubt, but now I think that I have little bit clearance about this thing. So I want to discuss that things. So today is a Ganesh Chaturthi. So Ganesh is a god who is considered the son of Shivji and Parvati ji, who is also god. So which is our part of our culture. I want to discuss about the gods and the people who are considering God and who are not considering God. I think that there is one supreme power, one something is greatest thing in our world, which is just handling all this world and taking care of this world. And I think that is God, that is Almighty, that is what say omnipotent, omniscient, and what else do you say? So I think there is something, and I consider that is only that is God. But there is debate between the peoples, among the people. People are saying that there is exists God, but there are so many people who are saying that scientifically it is not proved. How we can consider that God exists and how we cannot consider that God does not exist? There is not any proof. But I think that this is a matter of belief. God exists or not exists. This is a matter of belief. And at the personal level, sometimes I used to think that if I am a student of science side, or if I am any logical person, then what's need to consider that there is existence of God? Just consider that there is no one, and I am living my life. But sometime if you have fear, or if you are facing any challenges, anything else, it is very obvious thing, something comes in your hearts and you think that, oh Bhagwan, kuch to par laga do. Oh God, just help me in these situations. Who will help me? So at that time we just remember the God. So I think that at that time we remember the God, but after that we forget everything that God exists or don't exist. But I think that if I am thinking that my problem are solved because of only this consideration that there is someone who is just taking care of us, there is some supreme. I think if I'm considering that things positive things, and I'm saying this is God, then what's the problem? Otherwise, if I say there is not God, then where should I go? For example, it happens that we should have fear. For example, if we are going passing through any a lonely place, there is no one else, and something some bad type of noise come, then it become very difficult for us to listen. That we have very fearful atmosphere there, we become afraid. So at that time we just try to repeat this Hanuman Chalisa, or try to memorize the God. Sometimes this happens. So I think that it is very important to just be optimistic and consider that there is God. This is my personal opinion. I am not imposing this idea to anyone else. And I think it is very important. If we consider this, then definitely God will help us. And if we are considering that God exists, then I think that it become very we will become very positive and optimistic person. For example, we have nothing, we lose everything. I think at that time we have hope that God is seeing all the things, and definitely one day God will comes and solve our problems. And we are doing hard work. It does not mean if we are considering God, it means we are weak person and we are not doing hard work. I think the mathematician, just like take the example Srinivas Ramanujan. He was great devotee of Nilgiri Devi. Nilgiri Devi used to help him in the while solving the questions in the dream. So I think that this was the great things that he has achieved and did for the mathematics. And I think that uh, this is the what you will say, this is the conclusion of being a person who believe in existence of God. And I think there are so many scientists who did not believe, but I think that it's okay, it is their personal choice. But I think there is someone who is just, and I think that if I am believing in God, I think it means I am just considering something as a frame of reference. Generally in the physics happens that if I am studying about the mechanics and motion, we consider something as a frame of reference. And I think that if I am living my life, at that time I am considering God as a frame of reference. If I am facing any problems, I just call to God. If I am happy, I will just excited and just remember the gods. I'm unhappy, at that time I also remember the God. So God is helping me and a frame of reference for me. I cannot compare myself to God. God is the supreme things, but at that time God can at least help me. And this is the one thing that which always motivate us to be a man, a woman believe in God. But the people who don't believe, I also respect them, they're also equally respectable for us. But for me, and I think that God exists, and I don't have any scientific logic to prove, but I think that the God exists. This internal belief says, and I have not seen any God, but I think God exists, still exists. So this is the one thing that I wanted to say. And I think God will always help us. And I want to whatever I want to say, Thank you to all of you to listen this video and celebrate your Ganesh Chaturthi. Thank you so much.